What I mean by active feet during the world's greatest or runner's lunge is pushing the tips of the toes in the ground, sending the heel down and forward, especially not just the tips of the toes, but the big toe joint here. And then on the back leg, making sure you're on the metatarsal heads, not the toes, right? So you may have to shift your weight back to really load that foot. It's almost like you're loading that foot so much, you're pressing back into it. Notice because of my mobility, I can't bring my heel up any higher. When I bring my heel up higher, I'm instantly onto my toe joints. So I go to the end of my mobility, and then really connect into the floor. Here, I'm really supported, and I can be here for a lot longer because the connection to my feet creates a lift in my pelvis, as opposed to if I'm really on the front of my leg, then my leg gets tired really fast. Plus, I go back into that side bent position of my pelvis. So shift the weight back, ground into that back foot. Now it's easy to create that side bending and really feel a stretch in that hip. I'll show you on the other side. So active feet here, active feet in the back. Find where my mobility ends, and then you can come on up, organize your pelvis, and then come back down to increase the stretches, just like that. So how do I gain mobility in this runner's lunge position, right? Because if you saw my runner's lunge, I was very high up the ground because I'm very limited in mobility in this. But not where you think, right? It's not the front of my hip that's limited. It's not even very much my hip flexion that's limited, but it's from my feet, and both of my feet. So if I'm going back into that good connected position, right? Connected front foot, connected back foot, level pelvis. In order to get lower to the ground, I have to gain that mobility from my heel moving forwards and my knee moving forwards to drop my hips lower to the ground. And what you see I run out of space in is both ankles and also my left knee joint. I can't get any farther down because I can't get any more knee flexion, ankle dorsiflexion, or toe extension and ankle dorsiflexion. You can see on the left side, I might be a tiny bit better on knee flexion, but I'm still very limited at the ankle parts on the both feet. So here, I'm even more limited on my ankle mobility. Even though I could get down in knee flexion, you start to see my heel come off the floor, and now I'm on my toes because I can't get any more range of motion out of the bottom of my foot. So the end point is not what matters. Getting to the end point bypasses the limits of my mobility, which actually means I will never gain range of motion if I keep bypassing it. So the key to actually gaining range of motion is working through the details, honoring my endpoints, and moving through that. And over time, if I keep it comfortable, I will gain that range of motion. Takes long time, often, but it's more comfortable, and I'm going to get strength gains as well as mobility gains at the same time, as opposed to forcing range of motion, which doesn't feel good and often just comes with a lot of neural tension and unhappy connective tissue.